why Kamala Harris's convention boost may last. Kamala Harris stole Trump's GOP convention bounce. Polling in the lead-up to this week's Democratic convention in Chicago shows the vice president entering with momentum and a slight advantage over Trump nationally and in most key battleground states, a dramatic turnaround from President Joe Biden's big hole 4 weeks ago. A new ABC News/Washington Post/Ipsos national poll showed Harris up by 6 points among likely voters, 51% to 45%, on Sunday. A CBS News/YouGov poll gave Harris a 3-point edge. Harris has also taken a slight lead in enough swing states to give her an electoral college majority, which worries Trump in the final months of the campaign. The vice president led 4 state surveys from the New York Times and Siena College, Arizona, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, by at least 4 points, giving Harris enough electoral votes to win the presidency even if she lost the other swing states. The former president is still within striking distance despite failing to recover his feet against a new opponent. Trump would only need to flip one of the 3 blue wall states, Michigan, Pennsylvania, or Wisconsin, to win in November if he takes all of the states where he is ahead of Harris in polling averages, according to 538. Harris's rise may be more significant than its extent and speed for its time. She ran for office on July 21, 8 days after the former president's murder attempt and 72 hours after Trump's Republican convention acceptance speech in Milwaukee. After the massacre in his convention, Republicans rallied around Trump, who appeared stronger than his opponent, Biden. In a typical campaign, the summer is the most volatile, with the party not in power gaining a polling boost after its convention, which often comes first. After the transition, the president's party normally surges to counteract it. Harris has had the upper hand since the Republican convention last month. Harris may not continue to rise through August, but a convention bump could make her a strong favorite in the race. Some Republicans are preparing for a larger lead on Labor Day than she does now. Because traditionally, voters' choices are all but solidified after the conventions, and polling variations are minor. This campaign has been unusual. 5 findings from pre-convention polling. Trump leads issues but not personality. How is Trump behind Harris when voters trust him more on the economy, their top issue? They don't like or trust him generally. The ABC News/Washington Post/Ipsos poll found that 46% of Americans trust Trump over Harris on the economy, which nearly 9 in 10 said was very important to their vote. Viewing the contender's personality shows why Harris leads. There are 45% who like Harris and 44% who dislike her. Only 35% like Trump. The majority, 57%, dislike him. Trump led Biden 31 points in July on the subject of who is in excellent enough physical health to serve successfully as president. The 78-year-old Trump behind the identical question by 30 points in the new poll. On which candidate is honest and trustworthy, 15 points, has the mental sharpness it takes to serve effectively as president, 9 points, understands the issues of people like you, 7 points, and represents your personal values, 6 points. Harris, 59, leads Trump. Sun Belt is up for grabs again. Harris's competitiveness in the 4 Sun Belt swing states goes beyond top-line metrics. In younger, more diverse states, she's attracting Democratic votes. Despite Biden and Trump being neck-and-neck last month, Harris leads under 40s in the ABC News/Washington Post/Ipsos survey, 57% to 37%. Harris also leads Biden among Black and Hispanic voters, who make up substantial parts of Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, and North Carolina. Even before the June debate, Biden was losing young and non-white voters, and several Sun Belt states seemed unattainable. Even if Trump wins one of the northern states, Harris's resurgence provides her a chance to win the Electoral College. Harris regained Black voters. Black Americans voted for Harris 83% to 11% in the ABC News/Washington Post/Ipsos poll, following recent precedent. Harris won 84% to 11% among Black likely voters in New York Times/Siena College Sun Belt State surveys, Suffolk University/USA Today polling of Black voters in Michigan and Pennsylvania finds Trump at 10%, the same as in 2020. Last week's Fox News poll showed 26% of black voters supporting Trump as a Republican. However, Harris, who is black and South Asian, tends to garner a similar share of black voters. Harris wins the democracy argument. During his campaign, Biden warned that democracy was at risk if Trump won. Harris is developing an advantage over Trump despite her less direct rhetoric. In the ABC News/Washington Post/Ipsos poll, 77% of Americans say defending democracy is at least very important to their vote, behind only the economy and inflation and tied with health care and crime. Harris is more trusted to safeguard democracy, 43% to 37%. Sun Belt state likely voters awarded Harris an 8-point edge in handling democracy, 52% to 44%, in the New York Times/Siena College survey. Indeed, the convention bump matters. While it's not surprising that candidates' poll ratings rise during their party's convention, a made-for-TV infomercial for them and their policies, conventions still matter. Harris, who leads Trump by 1.4 percentage points in the Real Clear Politics polling average and 2.6 points in 538, enters her convention weaker than Biden in 2020 but stronger than Hillary Clinton in 2016. Clinton trailed Trump by less than a point in the Real Clear Politics average at the start of the 2016 Democratic Convention because Trump was on a convention bounce. The conventions were on back-to-back weeks in July 2016 due to the Southern Hemisphere Olympics starting later than usual. Conventions often provide parties a 4-point boost, according to the timeline of presidential elections. How campaigns do, and do not, matter. The party that improves the most throughout the conventions maintains its gain in the final week's polls, according to Robert S. Erickson and Christopher Lezian. In other words, its poll numbers do not diminish but stay stable post-conventions to the last week, they write.